Hello everyone, welcome to the Computer Network series Last Minute Exam Preparation at MathTech 15. Now you're watching MathTech 15 YouTube channel. In this series, we are going to explain about different computer network concepts in an easiest way and the summary which the student can easily understand and write it in the examination. That's why we just call it as a last minute exam preparation. So all the topics unit by unit we are going to cover it. The first we are going to see the OSI ISO reference model, which is very important concepts, and many times it has been asked in examinations for the 10 marks. Almost the 90% of all the question papers you can see this question. So that's why we are starting this one OSI reference model. So before starting the OSI reference model, we will see that why this OSI reference model is required for a computer network. Okay, so now you can see here, if you want to communicate in a computer network from one person to the another person, so normally what happened here? So consider this is one device D1, D2 is the another device. If the both person wanted to communicate with each other, so there is a transmission medium which is helping to transfer the data. But the question arises here that this person is using Windows operating system and this person is using the Mac operating system. Both operating systems are different. Compatibility issue will occur. So how to communicate, how the compatibility issue will be solved, how the data will transfer from D1 person to the D2. Somebody is using the mobile and they're transferring the data, and somebody are receiving the data in the laptop. Then again the compatibility issue will come, how the data can be transferred. Okay. Then if you are sending then 10 Mbps 10 Mbps speed of the data, but the receiver is receiving only the 5 Mbps speed. So again, how this 5 Mbps speed this device D2 is receiving the 10 Mbps data? That is again the question. So these kind of the problems are solved with the help of OSI reference model. So OSF reference model is, it's not any software or it is not any hardware. It is a conceptual schema, or you can also call it as it is a certain set of procedure which is designed by ISO reference model, that is normally we are calling ISO International Standard Organization. This organization has introduced certain procedures how the data can be transferred from one place to the another place to solve these kind of a problems, to overcome the problems. For that purpose we are using OSI reference model. So in the OSI reference model we have totally, you can see here in the image, so we have total 7 layers are there in the OSI reference model. Each and every layer has its own functions. Whenever you are sending any data, that data has to transfer each layer by layer, then it has to reach to the destination. Again, the destination receiver, you can see here, the receiver also has the 7 layers. So all the data has to be again passed through the 7 layer, then the data will reach to the destination. So you can see here the OSI reference model is a step-by-step guide for how the computer talk to each other over a network. So how the communication is happening, that normally it will explains you, which is as I told, developed by the ISO International Standard Organization. So now we'll see the first layer in OSI reference model, that is called as the physical layer. So what happened in the physical layer? So okay, so we'll see the first layer is the application layer. We will see the application layer. So application layer, what happened here? So in the application layer, so normally what happened? So application means what? Whenever you wanted to send any data, you required some apps, no? So you are sending some videos, you required some WhatsApp. When you wanted to do any video conference, normally the WhatsApps, or you can also use it as a Google Teams. All those things, softwares, applications are helping us. If you wanted to surf anything, if you wanted to open any website, then you require that web browser. If you wanted to send any mail, you require some mail services like Gmail, Yahoo Mail. So these are all called as applications. So these applications, whenever it wanted to work, it required certain uh, protocols. So those protocols are provided by this application layer. Suppose imagine that if you wanted to transfer any file, just a normal file or a text message, during that time, so it is required the FTP, file transfer protocol. So it either it may be the text documents or any Excel file or any PDF file. So anything, any images, any kind of a file, if you wanted to transfer from one device to the another devices, so you required a protocol. So that is normally is calling as FTP, file transfer protocol. So this is the function of the application layer. Then web surfing. So whatever you are doing a web surfing, you wanted to search any website. For that purpose, you required HTTP protocol, or you can also call it as a HTTPS protocol. So file transfer, we'll see the example. Consider as here the WhatsApp. So WhatsApp is using the FTP protocols to transfer certain files. And web serving, normally what we are using? We are using that Internet Explorer, or you can also use it as a Chrome, or sometimes we are using the Firefox. All these so application or browsers we are using with the help of HTTP protocol, we are transferring any or sending any request for a particular website to the server. So that is normally we are calling as web serving. And the next one is email. How the email are sending? So we have the services like Gmail, and we have a services like Yahoo Mail. So these are all the services which are using which protocol? SMTP protocol, that is Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, which is helping us to send the emails from one place to the another place. So all these applications, so protocols are provided by the help of application layer. So one thing you keep in your mind, so whatever the apps are there, these apps are not working automatically. For that we require certain protocols. So these protocols are provided by the application layer. Just like while transferring the file, we require the FTP. While web surfing, we require the HTTP, and HTTPS. For the email, we required SMTP, that is Simple Mail Transmission Protocols. So next one we'll see the presentation layer. So what happened in the presentation layer? So name itself indicating presentation. Presentation means appearance. So whatever you are sending a data, suppose imagine that you are sending a data in a Chinese language. I don't know Chinese language. How can I understand that one? That is the biggest question. So here it is converting the one form of the data to the another form. That is the main function of the presentation layer. The presentation layer is responsible for three different type of functions. One is translation, another one is data compression, the third one is encryption and decryption. Translation, name itself indicating. So what happened? Normally it is converting the ASCII value into the EBCDIC conversion. So the understandable, so either it may be machine understandable or human understandable language. So this is called as translation. Next one is data compression. So data compression, what happened? If you have the 100 GB of data, you cannot transfer that 100 GB of the data from one place to the another place, and it is the heavy load for a transmission medium. During that time, so there is an option is calling as data compression. So reducing the size of the data. So that is concept is calling as data compression. So we have mentioned here reducing the size of the data. Okay, so this reducing the size of the data, this normally is calling as data compression, which is done by presentation layer. So why we require this reducing the file? Because the fast communication. When you have a 100 GB, it takes a maximum time to transfer. So when it is converting into the 10 GB, so easily within a fraction of second you can transfer the data. So for that purpose, we required data compression. So first thing is data translation is also done by the presentation layer, and data compression is also done by the presentation layer. The last one is encryption and decryption. So obviously whatever the data is there, that is a sensitive data, we cannot be send it directly as it is. Or else hacker can hack the data and they can reveal your data, or they can read your data, they can misuse your data. To protect that one, we are using the two different type of techniques. One is calling as encryption and decryption. Encryption is nothing but your normal message is converting into coded form. Okay, so which we cannot, other people cannot understand by applying certain algorithms. So converting the normal message into the coded form is called as encryption. So after receiving to the receiver having the coded form, right, he cannot understand the coded form, again it has to be decrypt. That is nothing but, so coded form is converted into the normal message, that is called as a decryption. So this encryption, decryption, data compression and translation, all these things are the functions of presentation layer. So next one is session layer. Session layer is responsible for authentication, authorization and the session management. So what is this authentication? So when you wanted to connect one person to the another person, you can see here, when you wanted to communicate from one person to the another person, there should be a secure connection should be established. Then only you can transfer the data from one place to the another place. So during that time, so what happened, first you have to prove your authenticity. You are the genuine person, so you are the person belongs to that particular domain, that you can communicate, you can transfer the data. So you are telling that, so I am the person, genuine person, then I can access this particular network. So A is sending the so authenticity to a particular B by telling that, so I have a authenticity, I can access this one. So that is normally is calling as, so authentication. So authentication, why we are using? For a connection establishment. Just normally you are entering your username and password, right? So when username and password, when you are entering, you are can access that particular applications. So it is just like a protection. Okay, so one of the best example, you can say the authentication is nothing but username and password. Next one is authorization. So authorization is whether do you have a access to access that particular functions or any kind of applications or not. So that you have to prove it. So that is normally is calling as a authorization. So normally what happened here in the college, teachers are there, principals are there, students are there. Student cannot access the data whatever the faculty can access, and the faculty cannot access the data whatever principal can access. So everybody has then their particular authorizations, right? So they have to prove it whether they are capable to access this particular data, whether they have the authority or not. That is not normally is calling as authorization. So now this is the second thing. Third one is session management. Session management, name itself indicating how the event management is happening. All the event is taken care by the event management, right? In the same thing, so what happened? So this is the server. This is the client. So when the client is sending any request to the server for a particular website, you know that website is containing the images, images as well as text, right? So these images and text are stored in separately in the server. So whenever you are sending, a client is sending any particular request, just like I want that Google page, www.google.com. I am sending a request that is nothing but a client, you can say, and for the particular website. Then whenever it is going to the server, the web information in the server, it is stored in images are separate and text are separate. So these packets are sending to the client, okay, sending separately. This is the image, uh, this is for the text separately. So after that, coming to a particular client, it has to merge, it has to combine, then it has to form a one website, or it has to display as a web information. So these kind of a things is normally is managed by what? Session management. This is called as a session management, because the server containing your web information in the form of text and images, but if separately if you read it, we cannot understand anything, right? It has to be formed in a proper place and display in the form of a proper website. So that is normally is taken care with the help of the session layer, and that concept is calling as session management. So now three functions are there: authentication, authorization, and session management. So these three functions are comes under the session layer. So next layer is transportation layer. Transportation layer means, as the transportation, you know, right, how the transportations are working. So buses are there, autos are there, cars are there, Uber, Ola, all those things are helping us to take the people from one place to the another place. So but it has certain capacity, right? The car can occupy some 4 to 6, bus can occupy for 40 people or 30 people. Bike can be occupy only 2 people. So in the same sense, it is working transportation layer also. So in the transportation layer, what happened? Your given data is divided into the segment. So suppose imagine that this is my data. Hi, hello. So this is my data. So this big data is divided into the small uh, so uh, subunits, or you can also call it as a small packets. So this small packets is normally we are calling as segment. High is one segment, HEL is another segment, LOW is the another segment. So this is the segment 1, segment 2, and segment 3, because your data, it cannot send directly as it is. Always your data is divided into a small chunks, and these small chunks are calling as segment. Okay, so this is dividing the message or converting into the small packet is the function of transport layer. Second one, the flow control. The flow control is nothing but, suppose imagine that this is the sender and this is the server. This is sender. Okay, sender have a capacity of so receiving the data of 10 mbps, and this receiver having the capacity, he is sending the data to the sender in the speed of 20 mbps. Is it possible to access the sender, the 20 Mbps speed of the data? No, because its maximum capacity the sender is can receive the data of 10 Mbps speed. So during that time, this transport layer is sending a request to a particular server and telling that, so reduce the speed, because the sender, this person can only receive the 10 mbps or less than 10 mbps speed. Then during that time, this automatically is reducing the speed, that is instead of 20, it make it as a 10 mbps speed. So this work as or function is taken care with the help of transportation layer, that is normally we are calling as flow control. Okay, so that's a very simple concept. I have one bowl, I have a capacity of the 2 liter, but you are sending me at a time 4 liter. It's not possible. So you make it as a 2 liter, 2 liter, 2 times. So easily I can occupy it. I can transfer to another bowl. So this is how the concept is working in the flow control. The next one is we are using the two different protocols in transport layer. So that is, one is TCP, another one is UDP. TCP is transmission control protocol, UDP is user datagram protocol. So these two protocols are helping uh, to transfer the data. So TCP is normally we are calling as connection oriented, because it is establishing the connection first, then it is transferring the data. So that's why the TCP we are calling as a secure communication. One a simple example we'll see here. This is this is imagine that sender, this is the receiver. Okay, so sender wanted to send the data to the receiver. Your data is divided into the three packet 1, packet 2 and packet 3. Okay, so when you wanted to send this kind of a packet, you have a two different type of protocols for the connectivity you can use. So one is calling as TCP. This TCP, what happened? First establish the connection. So from source to destination, or sub sender to receiver. After establishing the connection, receiver is sending the acknowledgement. Yes, you can send the data. During that time, so packets are sending in a sequential manner, one below, one by one. Okay, like this the data are sending. Then after receiving the data to particular receiver, the receiver has to send the acknowledgement. Yes, your data has received. Okay, so that's why we are calling as, so TCP is working based on the acknowledgement. So when a connection is established, then we are telling a dedicated path. So how the data has to be transferred, we know already path how to transfer. Okay, according to that only these three packet has to transfer. These three packets are not supposed to use its own path. So this is what the TCP is working. But UDP, what happened? UDP is user datagram protocol. This is normally is calling as connectionless protocol. Connectionless protocol. And TCP is called as connection oriented protocol. So UDP, what happened? Normally all the three packets, we are not telling any path. We are telling that you just go, you are free, you can just reach to destination whatever the path you wanted to take. And this UDP is not, after reaching there it won't give any acknowledgement also. So the major disadvantages in the UDP is, so what happened here? If there is any packet is discarded in between, that we don't come to know, because we don't know the path, right? Whether the data packet has received or not. There is a confusion. So that is the reason it is called as no acknowledgement. No acknowledgement. So TCP is connection oriented, UDP is connectionless oriented, and TCP is normally working with acknowledgement, and UDP is not working with the acknowledgement. So these two type of the things we are using for network, not a network, so transportation layers. And the last one is error control. So controlling the errors, so we have the different type of algorithms we are using, error detection methods, error correction methods. All those things has been taken care, whether the data packet has corrupted or not, whether the data packet is as it is we got it or not. All these things are taken care or checked by the transportation layer. So transportation layer, so normally doing dividing the your data into the small packets, normally which we are calling a segment, and it is controlling the flow. So afterwards it is using two different type of connectivities, that is TCP and UDP. TCP is always working on acknowledgement, and UDP is not working on acknowledgement, and TCP is connectionless and UDP is TCP is connection oriented, UDP is connection less. Okay, so TCP is suitable for any kind of a file transmission. UDP normally we are using for video, any audio, text, the high speed of a transmission. But reliability when it is coming, so TCP has the more reliable comparing with the UDP, because the reason is acknowledgement. Okay, then last one is error can be controlled with the help of different algorithms in transport layer. So these are all the functions of transport layer. Next one is network layer. Network layer is basically working on this IP addressing. So any person wanted to send any data. So see here we have a three devices. This person wanted to send the data to this person. Okay. So we require certain address, right? So that address is normally we are calling as the IP address, just like your Aadhaar card or your home address, you can say. Without address, is it possible to send any letter to you? No. So without address, any is it possible to send any mail from one mail to the another mail? No. So like that. So the devices also having certain addresses. That addresses is normally is calling as IP addresses. So here IP here. Three devices having the three different type of IP addresses. With the help of IP addresses, source will identify which is the destination IP address. Then according to that, the data can be transferred to the destination. Okay, so this is the IP addressing. In the IP addressing, we have a two different type of IP addresses, IPv4 and IPv6. So this difference and what is IPv4 and IPv6 we are explaining in the next series. Just you keep in your mind, IP addressing is nothing but a address to a particular systems or node, which are helping us to transfer the data. Source IP address, destination IP address. Second, so path determination. So whenever you are sending any data from one place to the another place, so imagine that here n number of paths are there. Data can be transferred from here to here, here to here, and here to here directly. Data can be transferred here to here, here to here, here to here. Data can transfer from here to here, here to here, here to here. Totally we have the three different type of path, but it is taking 10 minutes, it is taking 5 minutes, it is taking 3 minutes. So which one is the best route now? The 3 minute is called as a best route. This is called as finding the minimum path or best path. So this router will decide it which one is the best path, or routing algorithm will decide it which one is the best path. This is called as path determination. So this path determination is also done by the network layer. Means what happen here? Network layer is providing the address, that is source address and destination address to a particular packet to reach a particular exact node or exact computer. And each and every system have the address, unique address. It will not be duplicated, the unique address. So that address is normally is calling as IP, internet protocol IP address. And path determination is finding the shortest path, finding the best path with the help of the routing algorithm. So that concept is called as path determination. These are all things has been done with the help of the network layer. Okay. So next one, the last data link layer. So data link layer, normally what happen here? So in the data link layer, so what normally happen? So the logical addressing already it has happened with the help of the network layer. So which is normally what we are calling as IP address. One more address is there, that is not, we are calling as the physical addressing. That is we are calling as a MAC address also. This physical addressing is done with the help of the data link layer. So this physical addressing is the MAC address, which is normally in the 12 digits. And which containing in the network interface card. Whatever the systems are manufactured, each and every hardware devices are already placed certain number, 12 digit number. All the hardware devices, that particular 12 digit number we are calling as a MAC number or MAC address. It is identify a particular devices in a hardware. Normally we are calling as. So whatever you are sending a packet, the segment is nothing but your data packet. Here the IP address is added, that is with the help of network layer. With that again the MAC address is added with the help of data link layer. So and error detection method is also containing in a particular packet, which normally we are using that CRC method, cyclic redency check. This is certain algorithms which is finding whether the data packets are corrupted or not. Okay, so even the collisions can be occurred. So normally what happen, this person is sending data, this person is sending data, this person and this person, all the four persons are sending the data at the same time. During that time what happened, it have a capacity of receiving only the two data, but four datas, 1 2 3 4 datas are sending at a time. During that time, so there are clashes between these nodes. This is calling as collision. Okay, this is calling as collision, what normally you are calling as a traffic jam, right? So that is calling as collision. So these collisions can be avoided with the help of the method which is calling as CSMA, carrier sense multiple access method, which is nothing but just sensing. This person will sense whether this route is empty or not. If it is empty, then immediately this person is sending his data. When this person is first person is sending data, second person when it sends it, then he will feel that the road is already busy sended by the first person, so he'll wait until it's become empty. So afterwards again when it is empty, then second person is immediately sending the data. Like that they are sensing and transferring the data. This is called as carrier sense multiple access. So this collision is also be the function of data link layer. So now the error detection is also been taken care with the help of the data link layer. So now you can see here the segment, what are the given message, whatever your message is there. So it is divided into a small unit, and these units are calling as segments. Hi, hello, how are you? This whole message we cannot send it. This message we have to divide into a small parts, and these small parts are calling as segment, which is taken care with the help of transport layer. With that segment or with that packet segment, we are adding destination ID and source ID. So adding the destination ID and source ID, that is with IP address, is taken care with the help of network layer. And whatever this is called as packet. Okay, this is called as packet is nothing but a segment which having source IP address and destination IP address. Segment is nothing but a small part of your message. So the third one is data link layer. So what happened, it is called as frame or framing. So whatever your packet is there, with that packet we are adding the destination MAC address and source MAC address, and here we have the error detection methods. And this concept or this particular so form is calling as frame. So this is called the segment, packet and frame. Segment is taken care with the help of transport layer, packet is taken care with the help of a network layer, and a frame is taken care with the help of the data link layer. And the last layer we have is called as the physical layer. So name itself indicating the physical layer is nothing but the physical connectivity, means wires, cables, the wireless communication. So infrared rays what we are using, how it is physically connected data, like topologies like bus topology, star topology, mesh topology. So all those things are taken care with the help of the physical layer. So which is actually dealing with the hardware which is sending the data. Okay, either it may be the electrical signals, or it may be light, or it may be the radio waves. These are all the transmission mediums, how your data is transferred. When it is two devices are there, if it is connected with a cable, and this cable so operations has been taken care with the help of the physical layer. Okay, here you can see here the cables will come, switches will come, hub. When you wanted to connect to the network systems, then we required a switch, right? This is called switch. So your all the devices are connected with the switch with the help of the cable, this one cable, two cable, and three cable. So these cables and this switch all has been comes under the category, so which is taken care with the help of the physical layer. Okay, so dealing with the data encoding and signal transmission, or you can also call it as synchronization. If the sync is not happened, voices will come first and your video will come second, then there is no any coordination. You cannot get it the information what exactly you wanted. So these are all the things has been taken care. Synchronization is also taken care with the help of the physical layer. Hmm? So the next one, you can see the examples, the ethernet cables, as I told you, cable, fiber optical cable. These are all a different type of cables are there which we are using in a computer network, so which has been taken care with the help of the physical layer, and switches, hub, and modem. So these are all the devices which is taken care with the help of the physical layer. Even the physical layer is explains about the different devices, how it is internally connected with each other, like what we are calling as bus topology, star topology, mesh topology, everything. Overall, you can call it as a physical appearance. Like this, whenever you wanted to send a data from one place to the another place, OSI reference model is helping you to communicate, to talk with each other from one device to the another devices without any disturbance. That is which is providing the compatibility on a particular platform. That is why the OSI reference model is very, very, very important, and it is very necessary to communicate from one place to the another place in a particular network. So thank you for watching. If you like the video, please subscribe and share the channel. Thank you.